What is good, you guys? My name is Reborn here. We are back with another scary horror story. 3 scary true thunderstorm horror stories, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how thunderstorms can be freaking scary. Why the frick are you outside of your house while there's a thunderstorm? Why is that a thing? Stay your ass indoors. What are you doing? Why are you outside? What can you possibly be outside for when there's a thunderstorm? When there's something like that creeping behind you, on top of you, and there's about to be lightning striking your ass. That's God himself. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to hit that like button. Comment down below what was the most clucked up story out of the 3. I would love to know. Hit that freaking like button. Love you guys so much. Remember to lock your freaking windows. Lock your vents. Lock your locks. And close your blinds. Don't just freaking lock your freaking window and then leave the blinds wide the frick open. Close them. By Adam Stevens. Okay.
I've always loved thunderstorms, ever since I was a kid.
This fool said, I love thunderstorms. You love to get clucked up, I see. Okay, you were born to get clucked.
And so does my 6-year-old son.
Okay.
Anytime there's a storm, my son and I
And
will
your
sit in
son's
the
about to get
backyard
clucked.
under the gazebo
Wow.
and just watch and listen. This was on a hot, stormy August night in Florida. As soon as we heard the first strike of lightning in the living room, my son jumped up and said, "Let's go sit outside." I
Why?
followed him outside, where we ran from the back door to the gazebo, getting pretty
Who
wet on
does
the
that?
way. It was already pouring.
Who does
I
that?
have a nice setup under my backyard gazebo. It has a mini bar, a few wicker sofas, a TV, and mini fire pit. As
that's
we
pretty
usually
cool.
would, I turned on the fire pit and TV, and my son and I just laid back and relaxed, listening to the sound of the pouring rain and constant thunder.
Cool.
The thunder would get louder and louder as we sat out there.
That's
and the
when
time
you
between
should
the flashes
get
of
inside.
lightning and cracks of thunder was getting shorter and shorter. The bulk of the storm was getting closer to us. The lightning was getting so bright and frequent that it was genuinely starting to light up the entire backyard anytime it flashed.
Fam, why aren't you inside? Bro, this is irresponsible of you as a freaking adult to have your kids outside in the freaking gazebo. Outside in the gazebo. Like that's gonna save you. You're freaking
My
nuts.
backyard is big, with woods covering 2 edges of it.
Don't care.
Perhaps after the biggest flash of lightning yet, my son squealed and pointed out towards the backyard. "What?" I said.
What
To
happened?
which he said he saw someone standing in the backyard.
What?
I stood up and walked to the edge of the gazebo. I couldn't see anything in the dark, so
Hey,
I was waiting
yo!
for another flash of lightning.
What
The next
frick
few
was that
flashes of
music?
lightning were too small to fully see into the yard, but when the next earth-rumbling flash of lightning struck, I saw what he meant. There was someone indeed standing out
And that's why you stay your ass indoors.
in my backyard by the woods. I told my son to go rush inside and turn on the backyard lights. He did so without question, and I stood in place waiting. About 10 seconds later, all of the backyard lights were on, but I didn't see the person way out in my backyard anymore. I
How?
waited for more lightning to maybe help see.
That fool
But
left.
even with the lightning, I didn't
He's a
see
runner.
them
He's a
anymore.
track star.
They
What
were
the
gone.
frick?
He, she, whatever, I didn't know. All I knew was that there was someone walking around my yard, and that didn't sit right with me. I went inside the house and locked all the doors, but kept the backyard lights on. I even turned on the front yard lights too. I didn't want to tell my wife, but my son had already done so.
You didn't tell the person that you loved? You didn't tell your significant other in the house that, hey, my son almost got clucked up by a random man because there's someone that was in our backyard. Because I decided to take my son out to the gazebo and look at thunderstorms while there's flashing light creeping up behind us in the backyard. What? Someone detain, someone take this kid away, bro. You don't deserve to have, no.
So anyway,
No.
so when she was all concerned
No.
and asking if we should phone the police, I lied to her and told her I saw the person out there leave. She asked if it was a man or
Oh, okay,
woman,
there, bye.
to which I replied woman,
I thought-
as it sounded less scary. For the rest of the night, the 3 of us watched a movie in the living room, with the storm still overhead. Eventually it was my son's bedtime, so my wife tucked him in and then came back to the living room, and we started watching something else. We still heard the thunder outside. Eventually I went back to the den to turn off the outside lights, front and backyard. When I went up to the living room, my son was standing at his bedroom door, scared, saying there's someone at his window.
What?
My wife and I looked at each
What? You had you had your blinds open. What did I tell you? Please tell me you got the freaking windows locked.
other and yelled, "What?" I pulled him away from his doorway, and then I stood at the doorway, looking at the window, waiting for the lightning. When the lightning struck, no one was at his window, but I believed him. Someone was out there. That much was already established.
That's
I
crazy.
told my wife and child to stay inside while I go out and look.
Yo, this
Even
music
though my
is
wife didn't want
stupid.
me to do that.
Oh my gosh.
I grabbed a baseball bat from the closet and stormed out into the rain after turning all the
Baseball
lights
bat.
back on.
Where's your
I
strap?
started in the front of the house.
Where's your
then worked
blicky?
my way to the side, then the back. I looked under the tables, in the gazebo, under the
Oh my
deck.
gosh.
And when I thought the backyard was clear, the last side to check was the right side of the house. I would begin to walk towards the side of the house, and instantly saw a person in a hood, but I only saw half of their face and head.
You did this by yourself, sir?
They were peering around the corner of the house. Most of their face and all of their body was hidden behind the wall. If I had to guess, I'd say it looked more like a man. I screamed, but I also ran in that direction with a bat raised up. The person disappeared behind the corner. When I made it past that corner, they were gone. Even with all the lights on, I didn't see anyone there. I went back
That's crazy.
inside and told the two of them that it was okay, that I chased
Creepy.
the man away. But my wife did not like to hear that it was a man. I made sure to close all the blinds in the house now.
Would it be different if it was a
we
woman?
weren't
Like
bothered
the
again
frick?
by that man. My son slept in our bed with us that night just because he was so scared, and I understand why. I didn't see it, but I can only imagine how scarring it was to see a man standing at his window at the young age of 6.
Holy frick, you allowed that to happen. That's on you. That's your fault, sir. That is your fault.
The city in which I live almost never gets any rainfall, so when we do, it's a pretty exciting thing. The kids like to go out and play around, the farmers are thankful that their crops will thrive, and it's just a nice piece of scenery. The last time there was a big thunderstorm, my friends and I were all playing some game together, though I can't remember which one it was. I knew the thunderstorm was rolling in when everybody's microphone played the same sound of the first thunder, and it was big. When I heard it, I thought it was a gunshot or firework. Then I
Damn.
saw the lightning outside my window and hopped over to my bed to see the storm forming. What I saw was much more unsettling. Across the street from me was a man. He wore a gray hoodie and some jeans. He looked fairly tall, though not too muscular, and he was just standing there. I
What?
couldn't tell if he was looking at me or not, as
That's
his
weird.
face was obscured.
Question is, why the frick do you still have your blinds open? Oh man, like how many times, bro? What did I say at the beginning of this video? To lock your windows, your vents, close your blinds. Like frick, why do people don't listen?
Then
Like,
he started
I
to
don't
walk down the
understand.
street, so he wasn't looking at me. I felt relieved, yet still a bit paranoid. I got back on the game with my friends and we continued to play. About 15 minutes later, the storm had fully started. I told the 4 of them I was leaving to go watch the storm, and I'd be back in a while.
To
I
go
walked out
watch?
front and stood under the porch, watching
does
as
that?
the lightning flashed and the rain struck the ground in a
Who
soothing
the frick
rhythm.
does that?
Then I looked down the street to my left, and there he was, the man standing at the corner of the street. I was scared a bit.
Weird.
I still had my head trying to reason this
Weird.
out. It's
Creepy.
not uncommon for townspeople to stand out in the rain. It is a rare occurrence after all, so I paid little attention to it. After about 5 more minutes, I decided to go back inside. And as I opened the door,
You waited
I turned to
5?
where the man had stood. He was gone now, which made for a more eerie scene. I walked inside, where 2 of my little siblings were dancing to a Bubble Guppies song. My other 2 siblings were in their rooms, doing who knows what. I went back to my room, but instead of playing the game again, I decided to go do something else. Though I didn't know what to do.
Hello, sir. Do you see something wrong with this picture? Do you see that the freaking window is open? Where's your blinds, bro? Oh my gosh. Oh man, my eyes are watering because I'm so freaking annoyed. I'm so freaking creeped out because where's your blinds, sir? You have no blinds to your room? Where the frick do you live where that's acceptable? No, bro. You deserve to get clucked up. I don't care. I don't care no more. Natural selection, face ass.
And I heard the all too familiar buzzing of my phone when I received a text. I picked it up and opened the messenger. It was an unknown number. They had sent me 2 texts. The first read, "Have you forgotten?" And the
What?
next read, "I know you didn't." My first thoughts were the man that I had seen outside, but then I thought of how slim those chances were. How would he have gotten my number? Why would he target me for whatever he was trying to do?
That's clucked up.
I decided my friends were pulling a prank on me and decided
No.
to check. I went to the group chat and asked if anyone had been prank texting me. They all swore that they weren't.
Clearly,
It's
you
hard
have
to
no
tell over
red
text
flags.
if they were lying.
Bro, you
I
suck.
decided to believe them and went to watch TV. Some time had passed, how long exactly I don't remember, when there came a ring at the door. It was way too late for visitors, so who could this be? Maybe the postal service? I checked the time on my phone. 12:19. Definitely too late for visitors.
Okay.
I peered through
What
my
the frick
blinds
is
in
this
an effort to see
music?
who it was, but I couldn't. The rain was coming down so hard it was like
Nah.
a blanket of mist was everywhere.
Holy frick.
Then one of the gunshot thunders sounded. My head slammed into the window, making a thud sound. There was movement by the door. It was a person running off. I could only assume it was the man from earlier. No, I knew it was the man from earlier. How could these events not all add up? I wanted to call the cops, but I had no proof the man had been there. He just left without a trace. I decided to try and sleep, and got about 3 hours worth, when a gunshot thunder woke me up. I shot up, then froze. Then I relaxed a little, when another loud bang sounded, but this one wasn't thunder. This one came from my window.
Oh my gosh, you still have your thing unlocked! Bro, I pray for everyone in this chat, bro. Please leave your freaking windows locked. Don't even try to open it. You know what I'm saying? At this point, if you don't have AC, this sucks for you. Get a fan. Like, honestly. And you please have blinds for your door, for your windows. Is it really that hard for you to just buy blinds from freaking Walmart or IKEA for freaking like 15 bucks? Is that a problem? You guys don't have 15 bucks to spare to buy blinds? I'm sorry, but
I couldn't let whoever was out there know I was awake. But what if they knew? I decided to just take a peek through my blinds. What I saw next was probably the scariest thing
What?
I've ever seen. It was the man with his hands pressed against the window, and I could only assume he was staring at me. The scariest part was his mouth. His eyes were mainly covered in shadow. But there
Wow.
was enough light to see his mouth.
holy
He was
frick!
smiling. It was such a big, maniacal smile I didn't even know was possible for a human to make. Then he stood and left. Just like that, he walked into the rainy night
Who
from
is
which
he?
came. I sat awake in my chair, but I guess I fell asleep somewhere along the road. When I woke, I was confused as to why I was in my chair. Then I remembered the previous night's events, and I darted to the window for whatever reason. When I pulled the blinds up, there was one thing I could see. A small piece of paper taped to my window. On it were 3 words that have now haunted my dreams. Have you forgotten? I haven't had any further experience with the man, and I hope I don't have to.
Who is this dude? He probably found the wrong house on purpose. Like, there's no way. That is so freaking creepy.
It was a night I was working late.
Never mind.
The weather outside was awful.
I
was
got
just
creeped
leaving my
out.
job to go home.
Oh, I'm not used to these. I'm not freaking used to these, bro. I'm not used to this, bro. This is actually clucked up. Okay. Whew, okay, let me take a breather.
It's about to go down.
My bad for the weird cut. I just
little
got my
car not
food.
ideal for crappy weather and roads. I was taking my usual route home, and the rain was so bad that even having the windshield wipers on the highest setting didn't help that much. I
Damn.
still could barely see. I was going 40 miles per hour on a 55 mile per hour road. That's how bad it was.
Sheesh.
There were no other cars around me. And when I least expected it, through the water building up too quickly for my wipers to handle, thus partially blocking my view, I saw someone dressed in white running across the road from one side of the woods to the other.
What?
I saw them almost too late.
Keep
I had to
driving!
Slam on the brakes and swerve to avoid hitting them.
Keep
I
driving.
swerved and lost control onto the grass before crashing head-on into a tree.
Whoa.
Airbag deployed and my whole body jerked forward into it.
Oh, you're
I couldn't even
screwed.
believe what just happened at first.
You are
I
so
was in
freaking
shock.
screwed.
I knew immediately my car was totaled, but when I slowly started to accept what just happened, I started to look around my car for the person that just ran across the road randomly. I was currently in the middle of a quiet highway with no buildings nearby for miles and no cars to be seen. There should have been no one walking around here, especially in this weather this late. It was a work night and extremely late, so I was nervous nobody would pick up. The first person I called was my brother, who didn't pick up after several attempts. He was definitely asleep. I tried my sister next, with equal results. I didn't want to have to involve either of my parents in this, but with no other option, I called my dad on his house phone, which was sure to wake him up. He picked up on the last ring, and I explained the situation. I told him I'd need assistance, and didn't know what number to call for a tow. After ensuring that I was okay and that I had no injuries, he gave me the number for our family's roadside assistance company to call. He said he'd get dressed and drive over to me. His house was about 10 to 15 minutes away.
Thank
My
God.
dad also told me to get out of the car to look for whoever was crossing the street and to keep my doors locked.
To get out of the car? Yo, is your dad okay? Son, get out of the car and figure out who's the person that was walking across. Yeah, figure it out. An all-in-white person. White dressed person. What? What if I was... No, your father wants you dead. Your father wants you bodied. That's not what you do. You do is you stay your ass in the vehicle. No help arrives. The safest place. Why the frick are you going out of your vehicle for? He wants you dead.
When we hung up,
GG's.
I stayed in the car, nervously looking around every window, though not seeing much because of the pouring rain. I truly was so scared that I was about to piss my pants, knowing someone was out there, wondering if they intentionally ran in front of my car. I called our roadside assistance company, and they were sending a tow truck right away. About 10 minutes passed since the phone call with my dad now, and I texted my dad, "Are you on your way yet?" He texted back, "Yes." I had my hazards on, though I'm sure the car being ran into a tree would help enough in finding me.
Yeah.
I turned to my right, as if I instinctively knew someone was there, and I jumped out of my seat and screamed at the top of my lungs, as I felt like my heart dropped out of my body.
What?
There was a soaking wet man in white, looking into my car with his mouth hung open in an O shape, and his eyes squinted.
What
He
the
then put his hands
frick?
on the glass and started to rub the windows. I didn't know what he was doing, but I yelled at him to go.
That gotta be a homeless man. That can't be real. That gotta be a homeless person. Nah.
He started to try opening the locked door, and when it wouldn't open, he started to pound his fists on the glass.
Holy
He
frick.
did all of this with his mouth still hanging open in that weird O shape.
He's
I
crazy.
didn't know what to do other than call
He's
my
on freaking acid. He's on drugs. He's on codeine. He's on life support.
dad again. He picked up, and I basically cried into the phone that there was a random man trying to get into my car. My dad screamed into the phone not to open the doors, and that he's almost here. He stayed on the line with me as the man outside started to hit the window with his elbow, causing me to scream and my dad to panic into the phone.
Crazy.
Surprisingly, the glass didn't shatter, and as if my prayers were answered, I saw headlights approaching from down the road and pull up behind my car. The man outside looked to the other car, which happened to be my dad's, and as my dad stepped out of his car and charged at this creep, the creep tried to run away into the woods, but my dad tackled him and I swear beat his face in to the point that his face would have been completely covered in blood if it weren't for the heavy rain washing some of it away. He held
Damn.
the man down as I called the police.
That is fire.
Tow truck driver
W
arrived
dad.
on
W
scene.
W father actually. Never mind. I revert everything I just said. W father. The frick beat his ass for his son.
The unusual scenario he just pulled up to. Police showed up not long after that, and it was the most satisfying feeling seeing that man arrested. Not only was he charged criminally, but we pressed charges for the damages to my car. His name is Marcus Green. I never showed up to court. My father and our lawyer did. I didn't want to see that man ever again.
Sheesh.
The disturbing face he was making, along with seeing him striking my car to break in, is something that will stay with me for a long time.
Sheesh. Lord have mercy. What the frick is this? What the frick is this video? Okay, so it looks like that will be the end of the Thunderstorm horror stories. Yeah, that can be very, very creepy. That just, bro, I have goosebumps now because of this. This is clucked up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, in that situation, the last story, you couldn't really do anything. You know what I'm saying? You were coming back home from work. Fine. You know what I'm saying? But the other times, why the frick? Keep your freaking window and door locked. And how the frick does that guy, I don't understand. He put a freaking sign that said, "Did you forget?" All I want to know is, clearly he did, or clearly he does not even know. Feel like the guy went to the wrong house and he did that on purpose. He's like, screw it, I don't even care no more. Who is this fool? Who's that fool that put a note saying, "Did you forget?" Is he like a freaking... one of the freaking people online that he plays games that he freaking ran into, and probably that gotta be one of the reasons. What other reason does this fool have to do that? That's weird. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Have a great Friday. Catch you guys Saturday, actually. I'll see you guys Saturday. I'll post a video Saturday, hopefully. What's the most creepiest story out of these three? I probably would say the second one or the third one, basically, was the most scariest freaking story, in my opinion. The first one, yeah, but the second one, third one, clocked up. All the way clocked up. So I'll catch you guys later. Remember, lock your doors, windows, vents, lock your locks, and close your freaking blinds. It's that simple. I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Have a great Friday. Peace.
You win. Perfect.